Herpa has over the years produced quite a few models of UPS freighters, but in more recent times they've been mainly focusing on the 747-8. A little while back, however, they did also make a model of a 747-400F, and behold, they used the correct mold. And with that, hello and welcome to a new episode of Review, where we today will take a closer look at a Boeing 747-400F of UPS. At the front of the box we have a cutout so we can get a glimpse of the aircraft model inside, and on top of that we have the UPS branding. Then on the back side of the box we're provided with a lovely image of the aircraft in real life, the original dimensions of the aircraft, and a little backstory regarding the aircraft type. If you're interested in that, feel free to pause the video to read it through yourself. And here is the Boeing 747-400F in the standard livery that was in use when this aircraft model was created from Herpa Wings back in 2012, although the livery does not differ that much to the current standard livery of UPS. As mentioned in the beginning of the video, Herpa has over the years made quite a few aircraft models of UPS freighters and also quite a few 747 freighters, but the 747-400 is definitely harder to get a hold on since it was made back in 2012. So let's see if it is actually worth chasing by taking a tour around the aircraft model to see what it has to offer. And we start our tour around the aircraft model with a look at the tail section, where we on the vertical stabilizer can see the UPS branding that has been slightly adapted in the current livery, however. Then on the fuselage we can see we have the full registration code of the aircraft, and towards the very tail of the aircraft we do also have some lovely detailing around the APU exhaust. At the front of the aircraft and across the fuselage we then have the writing of Worldwide Services, and underneath that the company slogan synchronizing the world of commerce, and that slogan has actually been removed in the most recent version of this livery. Then we of course also have the cockpit section itself, and that has, well, the cockpit windows with the window wipers, and above the cockpit windows we find the emergency hatch for the cockpit. That is pretty much the extent of details we get here, but when we look underneath the nose we do also see that we have the UPS logo printed on as well. The engine nacelles have been kept in white, just as most of the fuselage, and given that this aircraft model was created in 2012 from Herpa Wings, we don't really get any other details here other than, well, the silver leading edge. The physical detailing, however, is actually quite nice. Also here when we look into the engines from the front, where we very nicely can see the engine fan blades. And from the engines we can move on to the wings, which we should definitely also take a closer look at, starting off with the top side, where we can see the different flaps. Slats and spoilers have been carved out rather nicely, and we have some different shades of grey for additional detailing. Also the underside of the wings I actually think looks pretty decent, and the 747-400F does also have winglets, and I think Herpa has also done pretty decent with recreating those. A look at the landing gear reveals that that is the standard landing gear that Herpa uses for all their 747-400 models, which also rather unusual for Herpa Wings is made entirely out of metal and even has the feature of rolling wheels, something that I'm not a big fan of because I'm always afraid that it will break at some point, but it does look rather nice. Also very nice is the view here on the belly of the aircraft, because notice there is no hole in the fuselage for a stand, which of course is also not included with this aircraft model. And back in 2012 Herpa had the sense not to destroy a model for something that no one needs. And then last but not least, we do of course also have the doors to the cargo compartments printed on here to the secondary holds at the back of the aircraft, here at the front of the aircraft, then to the main cargo hold here at the back of the aircraft. However, they did forget the main cargo hatch at the nose of the aircraft. What happened here, Herpa? So there we have it, the Boeing 747-400F in the standard livery used at the time this aircraft model was released from Herpa Wings in scale 1 to 500. And what can we say about this aircraft model? Now, if you are looking for a aircraft model that is highly detailed, then this is clearly not it. It is very much the standard that you would get from Herpa Wings in 2012. That means that we are missing many details, but the print itself is actually of a very high standard. The same thing goes for the physical detailing. But of course it is confusing that they are pretty much missing the main detail that this aircraft type has to offer, and that is that you can load cargo via the nose. And sure, I didn't expect the aircraft model to be interactive because after all Herpa has abandoned that idea of having interactive models years ago, but that they forgot to even add a tiny and fine little grey line around the nose section, indicating that you would have a cargo hatch there, is a bit confusing. It's almost like having a model of a car and forgetting to add the wheels, or having a nice display with model trains but no tracks. It is kind of the main thing, the party piece of the model, and it's missing. So if you are on the hunt for this aircraft model, I think this is at least a very vital piece of information to have before deciding to buy it. So ultimately, I would actually recommend you, instead of trying to find this aircraft model, look for the Sky 500 version of it, which was made back in 2008, because that does seem to be much more detailed. Now with that, we have reached the end of today's episode. If you have enjoyed this video, then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. With that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you soon again. I'm checking out, and bye.